Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. We are moving along with the reveal train. We are coming down the tracks for Dune. The set drops in like 5 days in the OCG, and we still have, I think, 31 or 30 cards left to be revealed, and this is just the continuation of that. We've got 2 new MIKANKO cards today. This is actually a pretty popular archetype that has had a lot of potential, a lot of eyes on it, because it can be like a very splashable engine. It's an engine that gives you, I believe, a discard inherently, so decks that work in the graveyard kind of helps fill that stuff. It's a cool engine, and I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind, that it's been played mostly competitively as an engine, not as a full-on deck, because it combines with a handful of other things, whether it's like the Libromancer build. I've seen Phantom Knights, I've seen a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, let's see what we got, because this looks like a new boss monster. This is Arahime, the Manifested MIKANKO. This is a level 9 light fairy ritual. So normally they only had the 1 ritual before, and that was the 6, but now we have a 9. So kind of high level, but if the payoff is there, then it's there. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, and you have another MIKANKO card in your graveyard, okay, you can target one face-up monster on the field. Equip it with this card. Whoa. Okay. It equips itself to something. Interesting. Once per turn... Oh, this is any monster, too. So you can equip this to your opponent as well. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card is equipped to a monster, you can return this card and the equipped monster to the hand. Interesting. Okay. That is strange. And then third effect, cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. Very, very strange. Okay. So, this card seems just like a weak removal spell, essentially. Because it's on end phase. I like that it bounces like both cards. So like normally equips when something leaves the field to go to grave. She just loads herself back into hand. If this was a quick effect, this would be so much better. The ability to like equip, because then like whatever your opponent does, you get this equipped at an opportune time. They have to do something, like to either remove that monster or remove this card, or that monster's getting bounced on the end phase. But unfortunately, because it bounces on end phase, and it's just like a regular like ignition effect, it's just every one of your turns. So in the grind, the only real nice part about this to me is that in the grind, you're able to just like, okay, let's equip this to one of your monsters, and on end phase, you're going to lose it. And that's it. So to me, at most, this card is maybe a one-of for utility. When you get to the grind, you're like, my goal is just to take one of your monsters every turn, and then I'm going to be able to do that every single one of my turns. But other than that, this card seems like super weak. Super, super weak. I don't know. This card doesn't do it for me. Unless there's like a specific interaction that I'm not seeing here. This is not what we wanted, I think. But we'll see. MIKANKO Spiriting Away is the other new card. It's a normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip that face-up monster to a MIKANKO monster you control. Then, if there is a ritual monster card on the field, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each equip spell you control. That's actually not a bad interruption. It's not only removal, but it's removal in a good way. It takes your opponent's monster and equips it to your own. So it's not like, sometimes there's certain removal where like, even if it's an extra monster and you bounce it or shuffle it, it goes back to the extra deck. It's still accessible for them. If they can still get the requisite materials to make it again, they can. Same thing, if you get it sent to grave in any way, they can access it. Usually the best removal is banishing, but there are even a handful of decks out there, Kashtira for example, that can get stuff back from Banish fairly easily. This one, just taking it and equipping it on your field, means that it's going to be very hard for them to access that copy again, which is kind of interesting. So that's actually a pretty decent removal. All you need is to have any MIKANKO on your field, plus a handful of the MIKANKOs have like a trigger effect when they're equipped with something, so then they could get you more resources, they could get you more interruption, potentially. It's pretty cool. And then second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one of your MIKANKO monsters that is banished or in your hand. Okay, I mean, it's just going to be a quick effect, so that's not the worst thing in the world there. Cool. I think this card's interesting. This could be a potential one of, like, setup card. I mean, is it most likely? I mean, probably not. This would be a card that may see play in a more pure variant. As an engine, though, I don't know if this card would have enough legs. It just might be awkward enough just because you have to have a MIKANKO on field. Whereas, like, normally you just want to go for the normal setup with the other ritual monster with the Arabesque setup in Grave. That's usually, like, the main interruption you try to set up with the engine. But yeah, all things considered, not exactly what we wanted, but to be honest, like, if you were going to tell me in this set we were going to get, you know, support for the amazing defenders, you know, Pearly, MIKANKO, and Rescue Ace, I would have said Pirelli definitely doesn't need anything insane, and I think the support they got is fine. It's like utility stuff that's welcome for them, but it doesn't necessarily raise the ceiling of the deck, I feel like, a ton, and I think that's okay. MIKANKO, you could have argued, like, I don't know, they're more of an engine, so more stuff to make them feel like they could play a little better pure. I guess the trap helps with that. I don't know if the ritual is just downright good enough to play in any variant of the deck, but feel free to correct me on that. And then Rescue Ace would have been the one where I would have said, like, they need 2 bangers, like insane banger cards. Please help us out. Give us just like another insane spell and another insane trap, but like really, really strong. A trap that like can be strong first or second. A spell that's either just like an insane engine card to just help them be way better at playing through interaction, or, you know what I mean, stuff like that. That's kind of what I want to see there. Their archetype already seems so dug into put Turbulence on the field and set 4 that like they kind of just have to lean into it. So it's kind of tough. It's kind of a tough spot to be in, because I don't know. You could, if I ever line up against Rescue Ace and I just have like a Veiler in my hand or an Impermanence in my hand, I don't care what card they play ever. I literally just hold that card until they summon Turbulence, and then I just negate Turbulence, and they probably just went like -1 to do their whole situation, and they have whatever interruptions they hard drew, and that's it. You know what I mean? So it's we'll see. But that deck needed the support the most. But with these 2 new cards, I think this brings us, you know, around 30 slots left. We have 5 days. I'm sure the last 15 or so will get revealed like a day or 2 before the set actually drops. And other than that, we'll probably just have a bunch of small reveals. Apparently, we're supposed to be getting Altergeist support in this set. Apparently, we're supposed to be getting some new form of Gazelle, the Mythical Beast, and Baphomet type forms, or at least the Chimera fusion between them. So I'm curious to see what that's going to manifest as, and that doesn't sound like 10 to 15 cards, so there should be a couple of other goodies in there as well. And also, don't forget, sometimes the filler cards can end up being really good as well. Last set, we got Ringo Worm, which is like one of the best tuners I've ever seen. So, you know, keep your eyes open on that stuff as well. But I'm out of here for today. Sorry for rambling at the end here. Let me know your thoughts down below. To me, very underwhelming. The trap is fine for a pure variant, but I don't think either are good enough to be played in the engine when you're just splashing it in. And the ritual itself, man, just feels like it's so slow. It's so slow, and the payoff isn't even that good. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. I'm out of here for today, guys, though. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. You want to stay up to date on all things news-wise for Duelist Nexus and beyond. Animation Chronicle, more of the Fire Legendary Duels, more of the Jack Atlas Structure Check. There's a ton of stuff coming that I will bring to you as soon as it drops. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.